You spend hours and days building your own n8n workflows and integrations, and a wrong click or a container crash and it's all gone. What if I told you you can auto backup everything, detect changes, and push them all to your GitHub repository without lifting a finger? Hi, I'm Hamid, and I'm gonna walk you through an workflow I made to back up my credentials and workflows automatically. That will run on a schedule and back up your assets on a self-hosted n8n and push them all to a GitHub repository.
The overall process is that when the timer is triggered, it makes a new backup, check if the backup has any changes, and then the backup file will be published to a GitHub repository. Let's start with the most important node in this workflow, where we are executing an n8n command to export workflows and another command to export credentials to a file in a specified path. Here, we are not going to push every backup to the GitHub, so we have a mechanism to detect changes and we only push new backups to the server. Let's check the workflow branch as the credential is also the same. I'm not going to archive history of the backup files on local storage. So on the first node, I'm setting a static file path for the backup that will be override each time we create a new backup. A very standard method to detect the changes in files is to use a hash code. Here I'm making a hash code before and after running the n8n command to export workflows or credentials and compare these two hash codes to detect any changes in the file. Simply, we can say a hash code is a short representation of the file content. And if we change anything inside the file, the hash code will be different. And that's how we detect the changes of the file content. This node, if workflow updated, is checking the old and new hash codes, and if they are not equal, the workflow will continue with publishing the changes to GitHub. Otherwise, we will stop here, as the backup was the same as the previous one. GitHub node will push the backup file to the GitHub repository, and each time it will add a timestamp to the file name to make a unique file name and provide us with a history of the backups. Let's trigger the workflow manually to check the values. I didn't make any changes since my last backup, so after checking the hash codes, the workflow stopped. As you can see, the backup node is executed successfully and we are able to check the hash codes of the backup file before and after exporting the new values. The same hash codes means the workflow will stop here, and to make a change, I open the trigger node and change the trigger schedule to 5 minutes, for example, and save the new values to run the workflow again. As I made a change in my workflows and saved that this time, the workflow backup file will be different, and we push the new changes to the GitHub. While we had no changes on credentials and the other branch is not pushing anything. Now we can check the hash codes this time, and as you can see, we have different hash codes. That means the file has been changed since last backup. When we have a change, we will read the backup file content and push it to the GitHub repository. This is how I made the workflow, and it's like a best practice, but you can customize it. You can, for example, change the behavior of different nodes. You can change the schedule, and here you, for example, instead of send it to GitHub, you can send it to Google Drive or even both of them. All you need is to choose your nodes, configure them, and add them to your workflow to customize it for yourself. This solution is 100% free. As you can see, I didn't use any paid third party, and also the full workflow is available for free on n8n templates. I will show you how you can get that.
Before I show you how to get the workflow files, let me tell you what is next. On the next video, I'm going to show you how to restore these backups and how you can use the files you create. So make sure you subscribe our Zero IO channel and ensure you are not missing future videos.
You can choose templates from n8n menu and navigate to the templates. If you search the backup, you can find this template named Automatic Workflow and Credential Backup. That is a free template, and you can simply get the template and run it on your own uh, self-hosted n8n. It's important to know this workflow is only working with the self-hosted n8n. You are not able to run n8n commands on cloud version. Here you can also see the detailed documentation of the workflow. I will share the direct link in the descriptions of this video as well. This workflow saved me a lot of time and also keep my valuable assets on n8n safe. I hope it works for you as well. Please share your feedbacks and questions here in the comments, and see you on the next video.